Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's so nice to see some special guests with us tonight. At this time, I'm going to ask everyone to please rise for a moment of silent prayer and or reflection as we think about our military personnel that are home and abroad. Please salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please note the fire exits behind you into the parking lot, and to my left, your right, into the main hallway. The New Jersey Open Public Meeting Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to advance notice of and attend any meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interests is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with this act, the Mayor and Council of the Borough of New Milford have caused notice of this meeting to be published by having the date, time, and place thereof posted in the Borough Hall. Notices have been sent to the Record and the Ridgewood News. The mission of this governing body is to provide essential services through the establishment and implementation of public policy that will safeguard the infrastructure, provide fair, honest, courteous, and professional services, establish a sense of trust and accomplishment between all residents, and through research and prudent planning, seek to minimize risks while improving our services. We are sensitive to the needs and satisfaction of our taxpayers, while realizing that this governing body cannot be all things to all people, within the revenue constraints imposed by state mandates, economic conditions, and prevailing attitudes about taxation. At this time, I would ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Councilwoman San Houston.
Here.
Councilwoman Saraki Hurley. Councilwoman Duffy.
Here.
Councilman Grotsky. Councilman Seymour.
Here.
Council President Grant.
Here.
Mayor Petrino.
Here. Okay, under unfinished business, may I get a motion for the approval of the minutes from the January 3rd, 2024 reorganization meeting?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. First thing under new business tonight, we're going to be doing some presentations. And are all of the girls here?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to start with ladies first. Okay, this is the Northern County Soccer Association U10 Female Flight Champions. So if any of the coaches are here and they want to step up, that'd be wonderful. Congratulations. When I read your name, please come up. Sophia Beresevic. Layla Calderon. Aspen Goy. Caitlin Guerrero. Allison Hutchinson. Olivia Kakuleski. And Emily Kakuleski. Naya Mahula. Sophia Sanchez. Victoria Serpa Bustamante. Natalie Yaguda. Congratulations, ladies. So next on our list is the Northern County Soccer Association U14 Boys Flight Champions. Coaches, are there any coaches here from this one? This one? Samuel Keon. Efron Albar. Christopher Calle Herrera. James Bates. Nicholas Erickson. Joseph Gonzalez. Liam Hara. Dean Hashash. Jeremy Lewis Berthold. Maximus Moss. Milo Maria. Vivian Murphy. Ellie Niebler. Jonathan Petrie. Andrew Schmidt. Jack Sullivan. Jalen Ross. This is a wide one. Congratulations, So if we can get both sides up real quick, we'll take a picture and then we're going to let you guys go so you don't have to sit there the rest of the Don't block your face. Don't block your face with the lower the certificate. Lower the certificate, guys.
Lots of faces, right?
Just before everyone leaves, I just want to say a couple words. I want to thank everybody first I want to thank the mayor and council for recognizing these two teams. It's actually interesting, obviously. You have a little girls team and the older boys team, and it's really a representation of the ebbs and flows of our program, the future, the present, and the dedication really of the town council, of the coaches, of the parents, to having competitive soccer here in town. So I just want everyone, to just know how much we appreciate you, how hard these kids worked. There were some hard seasons, and there were some good ones, obviously, and we are just tremendously proud of you, and the pride that you bring to New Milford is really just unimaginable. So, thank you, town council, and let's get to work for the spring, all right?
That's so nice.
Thank you guys.
Sorry, we just need.
I just slipped through that door.
Okay. Next up is a proclamation. Office of the Mayor proclamation. Whereas, the Borough of New Milford is proud to recognize the contributions of the Muslim community and declare the month of January as Muslim Heritage Month. And whereas Muslims are the world's second largest religious group, practicing the Islamic faith, with 1.9 billion followers, representing approximately 25% of the world's population. There are about 3.45 million Muslims in the United States from diverse racial and ethnic backgrounds. The Muslim community represents 1.1% of the population in the United States. And whereas Muslims first arrived in North America, along with enslaved Africans, whom historians estimate 30% were Muslim, their Islamic beliefs and practices contributed in numerous ways to the founding of our nation, including courageous and dedicated military service in every major war, including the American Revolution. And whereas Muslims have made significant contributions throughout history, including notable achievements in philosophy, mathematics, chemistry, physics, astronomy, medicine, music, architecture, literature, and the arts. Their philanthropy, humanitarianism, civic responsibility, and culture help enrich the United States socially, economically, and historically. And whereas there are nearly 300,000 Muslim Americans in New Jersey, representing one of the largest Muslim American communities in the United States. Their contributions help fortify and strengthen the economy and diversity of people in our state and our local communities. And whereas the Borough of New Milford supports the rights of all of its residents and calls upon our community to eliminate prejudice and bigotry everywhere. We celebrate the great diversity of all of our citizens and extend the promise of our country to all. And now, therefore, I, Mayor Michael J. Petrino, do hereby recognize the month of January as Muslim Heritage Month. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand this 22nd day of January, 2024. Okay, before we do the appointments, may I get a motion to add Donna Molina as a nominee for the Green Team?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, at this time, I would ask for a motion to appoint Cambria Ildiz to Flood Mitigation Advisory, Douglas McCauley to the Board of Health, Kelly Grippo to Mayor's Wellness Committee, and Donna Molina to the Green Team.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we have one ordinance for introduction tonight. It is 2024:01. This is the beginning of the year. Woohoo! When the clerk has the opportunity, I would ask her to please read the ordinance into the record.
An ordinance to amend Chapter 2 of the Revised General Ordinances of the Borough of New Milford entitled Administration, thereby amending subsection 2-40, Free Public Library.
The purpose of this ordinance is to reduce the number of the Board of Trustees from 9 to 7. This is something that's been going on for a long time. It's been studied, At one time, it was at 9, then it was at 7, it was at 7, it went to 9, and after all this time, it has been figured out that 7 is the number it should be, so we are reinstituting 7. May I get a motion to introduce this ordinance on its first reading?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Sandhusen.
Yes.
Councilwoman Saraki Hurley.
Yes.
Councilwoman Duffy.
Yes.
Councilman Seymour.
Yes.
Council President Grant.
Yes.
Okay. The public hearing on this ordinance will be at our February 12th, 2024 meeting. It's a work session.
Yes.
Okay. Item number 1 is overnight parking. Is there anyone here for overnight parking? Okay. Perfect. So, I'm going to give you the updates, and when we open to the public, you'll be more than welcome to come up. Overnight parking went into effect last Tuesday. It's a ordinance that we've had in New Milford for 5 or 6 decades now. It was suspended during COVID. We did have parking issues in town prior to COVID, during COVID, and after COVID. The police department, we've been working with the police department to find that balance in town between public safety, borough aesthetics, and residential needs. When it was reintroduced, the police were allowing each car to have 4 times on the street by logging onto their website, and you just log the plate number in. We've had a lot of feedback from residents. The police have, and I have. So with more discussions with the police department, it's being altered and it's being revised. And going forward on February 1st, residents will be allowed to put their cars on the street 8 times per month per car and you cannot put your car more than 2 nights consecutive. So cars would have to be rotated. So those are the changes that are going to that. We also looked at we re-examined the parking committee's recommendations, which was before COVID. Some of the things we're looking at for possibly down the road in the future if this isn't going to work out. And the other thing is we will be looking at streets for public safety that are too thin. I know the state has come out with other numbers on width of a street with public safety vehicles, and it's something we're going to be looking at. We think we have a few streets where we might have to do one-sided street parking. So those are the updates on our overnight parking. February 1st, it will be 8 times per month, not more than 2 consecutive for that same car. Any questions from the council on that? Or comments? Like I said, I think it strikes a balance.
I think just for your future meeting about public safety vehicles being able to get down, I hope you include a member of the fire board in that discussion.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. They have the biggest trucks.
Yes. All right, thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Okay, item number 2. Schedule updates. Saturday, February 3rd is Winter Slam 24, sponsored by the New Milford Public School District. It will start at 5 p.m. at New Milford High School. For more information, you can go to the New Milford Public School District Facebook page. Also, on Saturday, February 3rd, is the New Milford Fire Department Company 1's annual comedy night. It'll sponsored by New Milford Company 1. It starts at doors open at 7:30 p.m. at New Milford Company 1 on Center Street. For more information, you can go to the fire department's Facebook page. On Saturday, February 10th, is the New Milford Free Rabies Clinic. It's our annual clinic. It is sponsored by the New Milford Health Department. The time will be from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., and it takes place at the New Milford DPW. Information for that is already up on the borough's website, and you'll see some more posts on the Office of the Mayor Facebook page. One thing to keep in mind is pet licensing for 2024. Forms are not mailed out to residents anymore, so you have to proactively contact the health department to get your licenses. Do they get licenses at the rabies clinic?
Yes.
Okay. If you need a license, go to
If you're getting a rabies shot to your pet as well, yes.
Okay. Was there any other events that I failed to mention?
Yes, as a matter of fact, the planning board is meeting tomorrow night, and they've invited the various borough entities to come and present their comments on the proposed master plan, what they would like to see going forward.
So that begins at 7:30 tomorrow night. And then the Milford Arts Committee had its first meeting last week, and we are working on a outdoor event, hopefully scheduled for June 9th. So we'll keep you informed as to exactly what we plan to do, but it should be very exciting.
No, and the master plan is something that takes an enormous amount of time to do, and I want to thank everyone who's been a part of it moving forward for the borough's future.
And the public is always welcome to attend our meetings.
Absolutely.
We're always open to the public for their comments and concerns.
Absolutely.
Mayor, if you don't mind, I'd like to put out there, the Historic Commission is working on the Hall of Fame, which will be June 8th. I'm just putting it out there, if you have any names or anyone you think should be part of that Hall of Fame, and you know that you can get a hold of the Historic Commission or text of that.
This will be the
June 8th.
beta class.
Second.
Yeah, the second class.
Yep.
Yes. Excellent. Looking forward to that. Okay. If there's nothing else, we'll move on to item number 3, which is the administrator's report.
Thanks, Mayor. I don't have a ton to report. There's not been a lot going on engineering projects over the holidays, but we have tentatively scheduled a pre-application meeting with the DEP on February 28th to discuss the proposed repair of the French Brook. Other than that, I've been busy getting started with all the beginning of the year appointments, getting notices out, and coordinating all of the budget information that has been submitted by all of the departments. The information's been distributed to the budget committee, and we're going to begin reviewing that in anticipation of our budget introduction in March. And our next meeting scheduled for Monday, February 12th. That's it for me.
Which will be a work session in the conference room.
Right, yes.
Resolutions. Have everyone had a chance to look at the resolutions? Are there any that need to be pulled for further discussion and or vote? May I get a motion to file committee reports with the borough clerk to be spread in full upon the minutes?
So moved. Second?
All in favor? Any opposed? We'll go around real quick. Any important updates or highlights? Council President Grant.
I just mentioned that my highlights, the Trump Planning Board and Arts Committee, so nothing further. And the rabies clinic, of course, I'm always involved in that.
Councilman Seymour.
I don't have anything else to report except that the Flood Mitigation Committee had their first meeting of the year, and they're working very hard to get started on this year's work.
Yes, they've unfortunately been busy the end of last year and early this year.
They definitely have their work cut out for them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Councilwoman Duffy.
Thanks, Mayor. On January 6th, along with Mayor and myself and other council members, we attended the installation of the firematic officers of the Milford Fire Department. The Chief of the Department, Gerard Smithson Jr., Assistant Chief Ross Ryan, Deputy Fire Chief Tom Ryan, Captain Company 1 Dave Stormer, Captain Company 2 John Sicardi, Lieutenant Company 1 Thomas Mulligan, Lieutenant Company 2 Jared Birnbaum. And a big thank you to the former chief from 2023, Robert O'Brien, and a special congratulations to he and his wife welcoming a baby girl that same week. So that was pretty cool. Also, I, by Zoom, attended the property maintenance meeting, and the first one of the year. And just, this is kind of an underappreciated commission. It doesn't really even have a department, I guess you would call it. But man, if you want to see departments from all over the borough working together and making a really positive impact on neighborhoods, this is the department. You've got the police, the health department, the administrator, they're all working, the council members as well. So just a shout out to them for the great job they did last year and looking forward to more to come this year. That's my.
Excellent. Councilwoman Siraki Hurley.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, things have been a little quiet, but just the different committees are working on certain little events that will be happening within a few months. One is, as I mentioned before, the June 8th, our, Hall of Fame, yeah, for the June 8th. And events and I, we were speaking, thinking about possibly having, maybe with the parade for the opening rec park, maybe a little kiddie bike parade, which has been mentioned before, for the younger kids, the little ones, like 3 and 4-year-olds. And that's really about it. We're discussing, of course, our parade. But other than that, things have been quiet. Thank you.
Excellent. Councilwoman Sanders.
Thank you, Mayor. First, I want to congratulate the Environmental and Energy Commission for a terrific green ribbon celebration. Despite the weather, the roads were nice and clear, and we had a great turnout. Thank you, Mayor, for being in attendance with us. And the event was very well attended. It was the completion of the Environmental Resource Inventory celebration. So it's the culmination, it marks a new beginning. The Environmental Resource Inventory informs the master plan. So it's a really nice tandem thing. So it's like marking Milford stepping into a new era, new conversations with ability to collect data. So thank you, Mayor and Council, for your support through that whole entire project. And I look forward to seeing what the Environmental Commission comes up with for priority projects coming up. So that was a very nice event. And in new business, it's Green Team with the Sustainable Jersey certification. So we attained bronze in the year 2021. It's time for our recertification. And I just wanted everyone to know that our first deadline is coming up February 25th. And the final deadline is July 2024. So it's going to be a busy spring with reports. So you'll be receiving inquiries and emails from the Green Team to your respective committees and commissions, collecting points. All about the points. So, and I'm just going to say it one last time, is all those points equal up to opportunities to apply for grants to bring good programs to New Milford and fund our projects, improvement projects. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you. I just want to thank Police, Fire, OEM, DPW for everything they did for the recent storms, snow, and our flood events. I also am happy to say that you guys would agree our Class 1s are working out great. I see them all over the place, so it's wonderful. And I want to thank the DPW. If you've noticed, going towards Hardcastle Pond, if you notice on the right side where the Elks Club is, there's a new retaining wall. What they were able to do is push the land back a little bit, put in a new wall, and we're going to have a new walking path so people can walk more safely from the fields to the Bavone Field to Hardcastle Pond, because it was kind of tight in there. And I know we're hoping to repave that area this year, budget permitting, so it should be really nice. Part of our goal is to connect the whole area by foot, where you can walk from the Milford Woods, around the neighborhood field, to Hardcastle Pond and back without more safely. So that's something that we definitely want to do, and we're actually working on a grant to get some pathways behind the fields to finish the connection. This time, I would ask for a motion to open to the public.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ladies and gentlemen of the public, if anyone would like to come up, just give us your first name. You do not need to give us your address, and you get 5 minutes.
Hi, I'm Lisa Kane, and I'm here for the no parking ordinance. There were supposed to be some other people here, but things got messed up. Anyway, we're just looking to suspend permanently the no parking ordinance. I made a map. I don't know if everybody can see this, but you have an ordinance that is in effect 158 days, not in effect 207 days. That's without the calling in of was 4, now 8. With your 8 days a month, you're looking at an ordinance that basically is in effect 50 days, maybe, where parking is allowed 300 days with people calling in. It just doesn't make any sense to have an ordinance where it's allowed more than it's not. Houses built in the 20s, driveways are smaller, cars are bigger. I, in my family, have 5 drivers. Okay, thank goodness my son moved out because I have another son who's in college right now who doesn't have a car, and we're holding off getting a car because we don't have any place to put it. I said I can't afford $8,000 to $10,000 right now to extend my driveway. We do have to get a new driveway. The people across the street from me are in the same position. They have 3 drivers right now. I think their son is 16, going to be 17. The people right next door to them, their daughter's away at college. The cars are bigger down the street. There's a car mayor, I think, right next to you. I just saw they actually, for the first time, shoved all the cars around by you. Shoved all the cars that they were using Sutton traffic. There's just not enough room, and they threw this ordinance on us so quick. It was suspended for 2 years. And then all of a sudden, it's like, boom. And there's no place, I mean, if it snows, I can fit 3 cars in my driveway, and I don't have a problem with getting the cars off so they can plow. I wish you would add garbage pails to that, because I looked out Monday when it snowed, and the street was lined up with garbage pails, which makes no sense. A plow has to go around them. But anyway, but it's just the cars are bigger, there's more people working from home, kids are not moving out now because of the economy, they can't afford to. So there's more house, more people living in a house that drive. And it's just with these statistics, it just doesn't make any sense. And a lot of people, when the ordinance allows it more than it does. So basically that's it. If you want to keep this, you're more than welcome.
Just hand it. Sure.
Okay. And that's all, it's just something to think about.
That's one of the things that were taken into consideration when it was extended to 8 days. Remember, you're saying that when it's 8 days, it's per car. So it's not extending
Right.
the entire town another 50 days on the street. It still cuts down cars on the street.
Right.
At the same time, providing some relief to people that may have that extra car too.
Right.
Because of the growing home.
A lot of it is inconvenient. You're inconveniencing the town. Like, my daughter comes home from work at 12:30 at night from her second job. My husband works shift work and is leaving at 5:30 in the morning. Okay? So, if my daughter pulls in the driveway behind my husband at 12:30 at night, he has to get up 10 minutes earlier, pull her car on the street, pull his car out, and I guess he can leave hers. Or, if she comes home at 12:30 at night, she has to pull his car out, put her car in, and then pull his car. I do not want her doing this at 12:30 for obvious reasons. And it's an inconvenience, and I know we're not the only ones. It's a matter of jockeying cars and I asked what the reason was, and I just can't get a straight answer. What is the reason for the no parking on the street ordinance? Does anybody know why it was put into effect?
5 decades ago? You want to take a stab at that?
In my understanding, for my one.
I thought you were there then.
No. They're not too. It was a matter of when the officers were going down the street, if there was a car parked, it was a way for them to determine possible burglars in the neighborhood or suspicious activity. And that's going back 30 years ago, right? Okay, so that's what it was. And everything evolved from that. We're at a point now, I understand what you're saying, a lot of the suspensions actually support what you just said. Kids coming back from college, kids coming back from school. That's why a lot of that was put into effect.
Right.
And so it did.
Right. Now, I understand.
I've been here 22, 23 years, and from when I first started to now, things have morphed throughout the whole entire process as well. And it just became a point where the summers were getting, the deaths were inundated with phone calls for people parking. And it was actually going to get to the point where you had people who would just say, yeah, I just don't feel like going out in my car. So, you know, you had issues that also came upon which caused the suspension, and it just got to the point where guys on the desk couldn't even answer the phone, the emergency 911 calls coming in, because the phone was ringing constantly.
Right, but now the policemen are gonna have to look at a list. Okay, is this car, you know, you're gonna have all these calls coming into the
We've
system.
been doing that for,
Yeah.
we've always done it. I know I've done it since I was in patrol.
But you're gonna be getting a lot more now, because, like I said, more people are working from home since COVID. Okay?
Well, this is,
Yeah.
we're starting it now.
Right.
And
Right.
what we say, prior to that, you know, we've always had
Right.
3-4 pages worth of parts on it.
Captain,
Just an ordinance that nobody really knows the reason for it and why
it's not a question, ma'am, if I may. It's not a question, we don't know the reason for it. There's a lot of reasons for it. One is security. One is street cleaning. One is snow removal. And granted, it snows not every day, I get that. But there are times where we have blizzards and the cars are still there.
Right, and I understand that.
And this is not a new
It's
thing.
story, though.
How long have you been in town?
30 years.
So you're familiar with it. It's been in effect as long as I've been here. I've been here 30 years.
Right, but-
Well, let me just finish to
Okay.
answer your question. I'll hear whatever you have to
Okay.
say. And this is not written in stone, as the mayor said. They're still considering
Right, I understand.
alternatives. But there are reasons for it that are good reasons. It was suspended during COVID because everybody was home. Okay? It's been in effect for at least 60 years. It's posted at every entrance to town. It never went out of effect. It was never taken off the books. What happened was the chief determined, in accordance with the state of emergency, not to enforce it. New Milford let it go longer than most towns did as an accommodation, and is now rolling it out slowly to get people acclimated to it, as it's been for 50 to 60 years. That being said, during COVID, we've passed a number of ordinances to deal with problems that resulted from the fact that we didn't have the overnight parking ordinance in effect, that we weren't enforcing it. Things like people were, and I know because I've, with Chris and with the police, written the ordinances. We had people parking boats. We had people leaving trailers. And there was no ordinance in place to deal with that except the no overnight parking ordinance. We had commercial businesses using the streets for their business purpose, to stack cars, to store cars, to work on cars. So what the borough determined to do is to reinforce or enforce the overnight, with the understanding that the police had adopted a program that they've actually purchased. They don't have to take the calls anymore. You can log on from your computer, and it gives an automatic computer readout to the car. So it's not like they're going to be flipping through lists, wasting time. It's going to be a lot more effective for the police. It's going to be hopefully a lot more effective for the residents. And the tweak going from 4 to 8 allows people, after discussion, to rotate the cars in a manner where you really shouldn't have a problem if you have a number of cars.
Doesn't that defeat the purpose, though?
No, it's not.
Why?
It's only going to be in effect for people with 5 or 6 cars. I mean, you know, if you have.
Which is a lot of New Milford now.
I understand that.
So, I mean, you know, since COVID, a lot of people do work from home. And, you know, you're looking at things before COVID, you have to take into account a lot of companies, and even still to this day, companies are getting rid of their offices and forcing people. I know my son works from home. I work from home.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, the cars are getting bigger.
As I said, it's a balance between public safety, borough aesthetics, and residential need. Just as many people have contacted us and said, we want to park on the street. I have just as many people that have been contacting us all through COVID saying, get the cars off the street. They feel they're inconvenienced because people, whether they're tenants or other residents, are parking cars in front of their house, sometimes blocking their driveways for 2, 3, 4 days at a time. We've had cars on the street for weeks that haven't moved.
Right, but can't you put in an ordinance that for cars, like somebody said broken down cars or
It's not broken down.
commercial,
No, they're just storing them.
but if they're parked.
I
on
can
the
leave my
street-
car here for 3 weeks. There's no rules.
But if I left my car in front of my house, okay, what problem would that was that my
If someone
car,
left a car in front of your house for 3 weeks.
I would call the police to see if it's stolen because it has happened
I
before.
know, it's,
You know.
someone,
You
it
know.
wasn't stolen.
It's just, I'm
I'm
just,
saying that's the balance. Just
right, I,
like you
no,
don't
I
want to park on the
understand,
street,
Jones.
Don't want people to park
It's
on the
just
street.
for that little, when you have an ordinance that's not in effect more than it is in effect, it just doesn't make any sense to me and a lot of other people. That's, you know, what's the difference between the summer when it's suspended and the winter when you put it into effect? The
Well,
crime is the
at
same.
one time, it wasn't suspended during the summer. As Captain DeGenio was saying, that was something that was an accommodation because more college kids, as time went on, were commuting to
Right.
school.
You know,
So, but it doesn't mean that it's not in effect, it's still there, it's
Right,
just
but
another
it's suspended.
accommodation.
Exactly, no, I understand that, but it's just, if you're looking at the crime rate and everything, there's no difference between summer, where I think crime is higher, than the winter time, where it's not suspended. And that's, you know, I'm just throwing it out there, the reasons why. Other people were supposed to be here, I know there was a petition signed,
Well, you're doing a good job on your own behalf,
you know.
representing all the borough residents.
It's, you know, so that's all I have to say, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Appreciate it. Just your name, not your address.
Charles Hartung. I too can see your point, but I have a few questions to the police department. You say it's a matter of safety. Do the Milford Police Department cars have plate readers?
We have one plate reader.
All right, so does everybody know what a plate reader does? Okay, so a plate reader, kind of like, we didn't have that technology before, but we have it now, to see if a car belongs or it doesn't, all right? We've allowed people to put expansions on the houses. We're putting more people in houses. I have an expanded Cape with a 3-car, single-lane driveway. I have a company vehicle. My kids have vehicles now. There's just nowhere to put them. And I'm sure, it just seems like we're, you know, every time we're doing we're chasing our tail. You know, we're going from 4 days, now we're going to 8 days. I, as a resident, don't want to come home and have to put in plates and go online. Well, remember, if I did it while I'm lying in bed and risk getting a ticket. He even said himself, it's been here for 30 years since he's been here, right?
More than that.
More than that, right? Well, I'm sorry, you said was,
At least 5 decades.
yeah. So, you know, I'm all about public safety, don't get me wrong. And if it was a huge public safety, I'd say, forget it, let's leave it alone. But we have to, you know, I'm sure there's more residents that call up and have the same problem I do. And there's, you know, as far as maybe issuing permits, stuff like that, we kind of got to address it a little better, I think. You know, just because it's been here for 60 years, I think, you know, we got to do better for the residents.
Mr. Mayor, if I may, just to respond. This was understudied before COVID. The governing body is aware of these concerns. And there was a committee that made recommendations, and unfortunately COVID hit, and everything stopped, as everybody knows.
Right.
So it's a question of putting the ordinance back in place to move forward. The ordinance, we have to enforce the law. We can't just ignore it.
No, I understand that.
So it's back in place with the accommodation based upon new technology and the plate reader that we do have one. I thought we had 2 in our discussions, but it's only one.
On the car.
On a car, okay.
On that.
So they do have that capacity. And the governing body is going to continue to consider the recommendations of the parking committee, and everything that's there is on the table But at least for the time being, this is what the police have recommended and what's the governing body is determined to do. That being said, it's a work in progress.
Okay.
How many cars do you have, sir?
6?
6 cars.
Yeah.
You have a 2-car driveway.
I have a 3-car drive.
Yeah.
You know, it's an expanded cape.
So you would be,
On Lumen Drive, they're all capes, but, you know, it was expanded. I have a single-car drive. I can't expand the driveway. Can't go anywhere. When the snowstorm comes, I'm trying to scramble, you know, call my in-laws, like, can I put the car here? Can I put a car here? It's just, I'm sure a lot of other residents have the same problem. And we have to, you know, as a governing body, you have to address it, because I'm sure you get phone calls. I don't really go online. My wife says that people are complaining online. That's something different, you know. I'm coming in front of you. I mean, there's not many other people here, but with modern day technology for public safety, I understand that fire trucks can't get down some narrow streets. You may have to address the problem in other ways with that. But, you know, we have to go forward and we have to do better for the residents, I think.
like I said, we have residents on both sides. Residents who don't want any parking at all.
Right.
I tell them, they don't own the street.
Right.
It's, you know, if someone parks in front of your house, it's allowed, you know?
Right.
It's hard.
So I just hope you can take into consideration that.
We take everything under consideration. That's why we're in progress.
It just seemed that, like, you know, went from 4 days already to 8 days. It's just, we're trying to, like, put a bandage on them.
We got a lot of feedback in the last 2 months.
So, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Seeing that there is no other member of the public who wishes to come forward, can we get a motion to close the public?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ask the public.
No, because there's been a new development, I can't even.
Okay, so we're not gonna do it.
Yeah, we don't need to go to close.
May I get a motion to approve resolutions 2024:59 and 2024:61?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Is there any other business before this council? MNPD, thank you very much for joining us tonight. At this time, I'd ask for a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And our next meeting is February 12th.